Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently busily working on our economy and not our military, as I predicted would end up happening. That always happens whenever I play Victoria. It's just impossible for me to make a military when we can put that money into economy instead. I don't know why. It's just the way this game makes me feel. I like it, to be clear. This is a fun game. I very much enjoy this, but I always get, like, laser focused in on the economy. Which I don't know. I feel like that's how Victoria is kind of supposed to be. So, a big reason for that, to be clear, is because of the way that other nations can interfere in your wars. And so I always feel like I need to be able to take on everybody just in case, and we never get to that point, and so I just build economy instead. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Okay, let's see what happens with free trade here. We don't necessarily need this to happen. We'll see what happens. Debate failure. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. So we're working on some food industries and power plants. We're also working on some glass works here and power plants. There's a lot of power plants going on. And we actually need to move these power plants up a little bit to be a bit more like that. There we go. So we've got all these universities in here too. Those are low priority. I want to get through the power plants though. That's a pretty high priority, actually. So let's get these food industries finished, and then we can evaluate how many more food industries we're going to need. The price isn't awful, right? And if we look at the current prices here, like where's our main food industries at? Campania? Yeah. So if we head up over to Campania here, and we check in on our food industries here. They're up top, aren't they? Yes, they are. So if we go in here and we look at our prices, we can see, yeah, this is really not too bad. Although the price of meat is a little bit up. We also need some glass here and prime meat. So producing meat is probably not a bad idea. Livestock ranches produce meat. Let's sort by earnings. And I'm going to put in... This is not how I want this to happen. Every time I do that, I start to go, and then I'm like, hang on. I'm sorted by earnings, when actually, I want to sort by peasants here. So in Campania, I'm going to make a few of these. So I'm going to make like 5 in Campania. And then in Lazio, I'm going to make another 5. Now, I put those at the top of the queue, and I want to definitely not have them be at the top of the queue. So I'm going to move all of these guys up like that. And then we can start working on moving some of these power plants up. It's going to be a tedious process. Oh, these food industries should be up. There we go. Yeah, about like that. So now we can start working on getting these power plants in. It's going to be a while before we get to this, but I definitely do want to do something about that price of meat. So let's get a little bit more meat production going in, and that will definitely help matters as well. Okay, so let's get these power plants moved up. I sure wish we could drag and drop this. That would be so convenient if we could. Alas, it doesn't work that way. I really, really wish it did. So we just had this change around on us. This is correct, though. Okay, so that sounds good. We'll just put these right about like so. I still want to be putting the vast majority of our construction into power plants. So something about like that. That'll just keep us going for a while. So we've got 32 months in our construction queue at this moment, and we've got a lot of radicals. That's not shocking. What are we at right now for our taxes? Okay, noted. Oil has been discovered in Baghdad. That's all well and good. What are we going to get on this roll? Debate. Okay. Well, that's something anyway. We're going to take the hit to the rural folk. So that's fine for now. And we're going to be finishing up a food industry and a power plant here very shortly. Again, remember, our power plants are doing nothing for us right now. We have no demand for electricity. That will change. That will absolutely change. Right now, we're just preempting this. That livestock ranch needed to be moved up. And I think all of these then do. So something like that. Okay. So So that's fine for now, and we're going to finish up a power plant in Hejaz fairly soon here. So that's great. But again, it does nothing for us. Not yet. So our economy is currently not exactly stalling out. It's still growing, but it's not growing at the breakneck speed that it was previously because we're putting a huge amount of our effort into something that's not doing anything. But it will do something soon. We just need to get at least a base level of electrification in every state first. So that's mission number 1 here. Food industries are finishing up, and we have definitely dropped the price of food, or rather of groceries, a little bit. It came back up, but yeah, it's definitely getting better. So look at that food industry in there, but we're also going to attack this from the supply side, and we're going to increase the meat production. So we're kind of going at the food industries from 2 different angles here, but it'll take a little bit before we get to that supply side building. That'll be absolutely fine. We do need more meat supply. As far as the glass works go, those are definitely going in. We do need more glass production. That's very clear. The price of lead is fine and dye is fine as well. So I'm not very concerned about our overall pricing there. That seems good. So let's just get a couple more glassworks going here. We're about to get a tech here. Aniline. So we'll have that momentarily. There we go. That gives us access to synthetics plants, which allows us to generate our own dyes, which is probably not a bad thing. We probably want to get at least one of those made. We can also start going into art silk to be able to get rayon. And do we have access to silk? We might. Yes, we don't need rayon. We've got plenty of silk access. So that's not a concern. At this moment, then, I would prefer to go for, like, vulcanization, I think. Yeah, let's get that going. So that'll be fine, but I do want to get at least one synthetics plant so that we can start working on having our own source of dye. I'm going to build this, I think. Campania is still an interesting spot to build it. Yeah, I'm going to put that right up at the top of the queue. So we're only building one, and we will see what that ends up meaning. What's the production methods on that right now? Can we bring those up at all? No. Okay, that's fine. So we stalled here, and this is going to be another setback. This is probably not going to pass. That's okay. We don't actually care that much. It's completely and totally fine. Now, I want to go into our market here because I want to check in trade. Okay, so we're currently subventing tools. Let's set this over to low tariffs. Paper, I want to set this to low tariffs as well. I want to get rid of all subventions at this time because I want to produce things domestically. There we go. And that's going to possibly create some problems. That's fine. We will address them as they come up. Okay. So as of right now, we see papers on the expensive side. That's not surprising. And that's reasonably fine. Against the odds, huh? Cattle and Pops becoming more loyalist is not a bad thing. We'll do that for now. So our glassworks are going to be done shortly, and we're going to be working on these explosives factories. So that's absolutely great. But we probably do want to get more paper production. So, what do we got? Campania? Absolutely. So we can take this up to the economy of scale cap, in theory, which is currently 50. I'm going to put this at the bottom of the queue. And we'll see how many this takes to wipe out the earnings here. 20? Okay, that's fine. So that's at the bottom of the queue right now, and I'm not going to work these up just yet, although I'm going to move the universities down to the bottom of the queue. And then we can put a single paper mill up top here. But I want to work through some of these other things before we really go through and intersperse this. So I want to get some of these other constructions completed first. Political migration, huh? Honestly, yeah, this is fine. They're welcome to join the Sea of Voices. More people to work in the factories is good. So that seems great. Rural folk approval? Yes, we'll offset our bad rural folk approval a little bit. That seems fantastic as well. I also see this glassworks going in Palestine. I like it. That's absolutely great. So we're still pretty slow on our construction, right? We have a malus. It's only 8.7% in some of these areas, but other areas, this is a pretty major malus. This is due to turmoil, and that's not particularly surprising. That's absolutely A-okay for right now. So how many more power plants do we have in this queue? Well, the answer is a lot. No doubt about that. The answer is a whole lot. I'm going to start moving these paper mills up. We don't have a whole lot else to do at this moment, and we do want to move these paper mills up eventually, so we might as well do it now. There's no real reason not to. This moved on me. Okay, there we go. So we'll just place that there for now, and then we'll get this paper mill moved on up. We hit another stall on that law enactment, which I'm not terribly shocked about. We never really thought that that was going to be particularly likely to pass, and to be honest, I kind of don't even want it to pass. We'll see. This should actually go here. Okay. We'll see if we actually want that to pass, but for right now, I kind of don't want it to. So we'll get these paper mills moved on up. It is, of course, important that we boost our paper production, and we want to be producing as much as we can domestically and not really importing much of anything. We're definitely okay with exporting things. But as of right now, we want to be quite self-sufficient. So we're definitely working that way. Now you can see our GDP is continuing to grow. We're at all-time highs, but this is going to be pretty slow for the moment. But we will have extraordinarily explosive growth soon enough. So that's absolutely wonderful. We're going to have a synthetics plant in Campania finishing up here in 2 weeks. And these guys have started up their rebellion again. I don't think we need to address that. We've not needed to in the past. So we'll just hold off for now. We'll keep an eye on it. But as of this moment, I don't think that's going to happen. Also in the category of things that's not going to happen, free trade. Let's just cancel this. There's no point. So that's absolutely fine. What are we interested in attempting to pass next? Well, we could go for Council Republic if we wanted to go communism, but I kind of don't. We could try to roll the dice on Presidential Republic. And I'm going to do that. Let's try to roll the dice on that one. We'll see what happens. It may or may not work. We're going to have some very angry landowners. That's understood. So for now, that's absolutely fine, and we're definitely running a big deficit at this moment. That's also in the category of fine. So we're going to get these explosives factories done pretty soon, and actually, the trade unions are very happy with us now. As are the industrialists. They're both super into this. So that seems good. We're definitely interested in that happening. So our GDP is continuing to go up. No surprises there. And we'll just work on the price of meat starting up here very shortly. So that looks great. Privatizing glassworks sounds good. We can definitely keep our gold reserves up and hopefully not go into debt. I think I'll avoid going into debt, to be honest. I think I'll pause construction if we're going to go into debt. So we'll try not to do that too much. I don't want to put money into interest. That's generally not very worthwhile if we can avoid it. So that's absolutely fine. Power plants in Lombardy finishing up now. Excellent. And we've got a couple more of these explosives factories, but we can see those livestock ranches, they build very quickly. So we'll just make our way through that. This is going to mean that we're primarily focusing on power plants, and that's going to be great. We can see our construction queue has increased to 33 months, and that's not shocking. I just keep queuing more things up, but we need more production, so it's fine. Okay, the war with the Armenian Revolt has broken out. No problem here. This is absolutely A-okay. Our explosives factory in Hejaz has finished, and we can see that now actually meat is showing up here as being fairly expensive. So that's a good sign that we already identified that and queued that up. Price has dropped already. We've built a livestock ranch, but we'll continue working on these, and that'll be absolutely fine. So we can see that there's a bunch of paper mills here, and we could move these universities in. Because I would still like working on the universities eventually, so we can do something kind of like this. Where does this end up going? Okay. It ends up going right up over here, like that. And then this university would go here, and then this university here, and this university here, and here, and here, like that. Okay, perfect. So that'll be absolutely fine, and we'll just continue working on that for a while. That's definitely a ways in the future. But our GDP is really starting to grow here, as you can see. And this, we haven't even turned on our electrification yet. This is going to be huge. But it's not huge yet. We'll definitely get there. We're running a surplus right now. Is that fake? I think that's a fake surplus. That's also, I think, a fake surplus. No, we might be running a real surplus. There are 3 private constructions here. Yeah, this is a real surplus. I like it. That tells me that I'd like to cut taxes. But with it being because we have 3 private constructions, I feel like we kind of can't. We could maybe cut a consumption tax. Yeah, I'm going to cut a consumption tax here. So that'll be okay, and we'll just slowly work our way through these consumption taxes, and each of those will mean that it will hurt less to cut our land-based taxation. I'd like to move off to a different type of taxation entirely, but for now, this'll do. So we've got another power plant finishing up here. That is phenomenal, and these livestock ranches definitely working their way through. Ooh, 20 popularity. Sure, that seems fine. So we're going to be done with the livestock ranches fairly soon and starting to work on those paper mills, which we desperately need. We desperately need those paper mills. Especially as we start to get those universities online. Currently, we're below our innovation cap by 1.5 points. So I'm actually going to head back to the back of the queue here, and I'm going to move up this university because it doesn't have a malice to its construction, and then we're just going to put these universities in. Actually, it goes like this. So we'll build 1 university so that we're no longer below our innovation cap. We'll get that going, and that will be absolutely fine. So our privatization of Glassworks will be glorious. We're, of course, delighted about that. And we'll continue to work on these power plants. Down to 29 months in this queue at this point. 75 million on the GDP. We're now at number 3 GDP in the world. And that's almost a vertical line. It's not quite. There's a slight angle to it. It's like a 15-degree angle. But that's very close to a vertical line. So that's, of course, phenomenal for us. We know we have lots of economic headroom because when we look at our GDP per capita, we're number 59. We can absolutely get a lot of economic headroom going here. Now, there's a revolution started here. This is by the landowners. And they're angry. We have an illegitimate government right now. So, can we get that changed? Yes. We can put the industrialists in government. And this immediately progressed to consideration. So, we need to keep an eye on this. Absolutely. This is a potential problem here, this absolutist movement. And we can suppress it, which I do want to do. That's absolutely something that we want to do here. But they want to remain a monarchy. And we may be forced to allow that to happen. We'll see. Oh. Industrialist approval. I feel like we don't need industrialist approval right now. 5% state construction efficiency, manufacturing, or agriculture throughput. Or military throughput. I'm going to take the manufacturing throughput. Okay, that's fine for now. So our university is finishing up shortly, and we'll keep an eye on this revolution. It's moving fairly slowly. For sure. I mean, so is the Presidential Republic. So there's that. Okay. The Anti-Pan-European Association has formed as a result of the United States of Europe overtaking Israel in the top 10 prestige rankings. That's fine. I don't care. They can do that. That's absolutely A-okay. We're just about done with our livestock ranch production at this point, and we're going to start up production on the paper mills. In the meantime, of course, these power plants are continuing. And what do we got over here? Intelligentsia approval loss, or... what's this actually going to cap at? 84? That's pretty high. Okay, we got the +5. That was a bad roll, unfortunately. That said, is this indicating that they have 1 unit here? They'll be able to raise an additional 20 due to their conscription rate. This is going to be Tripoli, Basra, and Equatoria. That's very spread out, isn't it? Tripoli's out over here. Basra is out over here. And then Equatoria is, I think, down here? That's extremely spread out. 3 fronts. Interesting. Very, very interesting. But it might not even matter. So we shall see. For the time being, I want to keep working on these power plants. We're going to get electrification done here fairly soon at this rate. We're absolutely cruising through this. So that seems great. We're getting a lot of power plants built up. We have crested 50 million pops. And we're number 6 in the world in terms of our population. And our GDP is still at number 4. We were at number 3 briefly, but we're at number 4 right now. That's absolutely expected. Keep in mind, we're deliberately sacking our GDP right now, and it will absolutely explode later. So for now, this revolution is at 32%. Its maximum progress is 89 at this point. So that's noted. I'm actually leaning towards currently letting them go and conscripting up. So I'd like to potentially get a few more units specifically from Palestine, like specifically from our capital here. And I'm going to do 5-ish here. But then I want to start up another army. So I want to go in here, create army, and this is going to be in the Arabia HQ. We're going to recruit a general, and this is going to be from the Rabbinical Council. That's fine. And I want to bring in a couple of units here. This is going to be from Syria. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So just the 5 units there. And then I'm going to create another army. And this is going to be down in Nile. And we're going to get a commander here. This is going to be from the Intelligentsia side. And this is going to be coming in again from our capital. Like that. This way we're equipped to fight a 3-front war, if it comes to it. Now, I think we need to come over here and move these barracks up to the top. There we go. So I want to prioritize construction of this. Barracks build very fast. So we'll let those build right up here at the top. So we'll definitely have the forces to be able to crush whatever they've got here very, very quickly. And if they leave, it's just Tripoli, Basra, and Equatoria. We don't care. That's absolutely fine. They can do this. And if they leave, we'll be able to pass because there'll be like no stall chance. So that seems fine. We'll just boost up our military a little bit here. We're running a surplus at this moment, and that's probably a fake surplus, but it's fine. There's threshing machines unlocked. So that gives us a bunch of new farming production methods. I want to definitely go through here. I don't really care about luxury furniture production. Precision tools is interesting, but we need regular furniture production at this moment. But we absolutely want to go to steam-powered thresher machines for all of our farms at this time. I'm assuming, yeah, 2 states don't have access to the required goods there. We'll go for electrified fences later, but for now, that will do. So that's going to definitely cause us some economic upheaval as we get switched over to the new type. Oh, repeaters were unlocked too. So we can absolutely go in here to our arms industries and switch on over. We don't own any of the arms industries. Okay, never mind. It's fine. It's absolutely a-okay. So we're working on our last few barracks here, and those are going to get recruited up. As we can see, we're making progress on that. Okay, vulcanization has been unlocked. That's going to give us elastics and machine steel tools, which is very important. So we're absolutely going to go to our tooling workshops and cap out at machine steel tools. There we go. Rubber is going to be expensive from that, and we could go to elastics. I don't actually care about this. Rubber is probably going to become an issue here. Yeah, 1,009 rubber. So we absolutely need to start production on some rubber here, and we can build them in Equatoria only. So we're going to do just that. We're going to maximize our rubber production in Equatoria. But we do need to get these barracks completed first, and we're going to do that as the top priority. Then we're going to work on the rubber plantations. Then we're going to work on everything else after that. Now, this could theoretically, this Impuka's shortage of rubber could create us a significant problem, and we will see. We'll see what happens with that. That could potentially cause us a runaway issue in our economy due to lack of tools. So we got to get these rubber plantations online as soon as we can. I see we've already cut our deficit in half, and this is probably due to imports. What's our current status on this? I think rubber we removed the subvention on, so that's fine. Heavy-handedness, huh? What do we got? Minus 5% progress? Done. So we'll do that, and Presidential Republic will eventually pass here. This is almost guaranteed to pass at this point. So that's great. We are done building our barracks, so we're now recruiting these up, and that'll be absolutely fine. We'll have our forces in place, ready to deal with this revolution if it fires. It currently can't fire. It's only at 89% militarization. Is that the word? I don't know. I cannot speak, apparently. The good news is, even though I cannot speak, it's time to put a cut in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we'll decide what we want to go for here. I'm currently leaning towards, like, mechanized farming. That might be what we want to go for. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. I was just checking the production methods for our rubber farms. They're fine.